Making sure everything works. We see your lovely face on YouTube, Sam.
Oh, all right.
Oh, I see what's happening here. I'll minimize that.
Breakout rooms.
Yeah, the separate things happening at the same time.
Ah,
And jump to Zoom and say share screen. Well, that's not what I wanted to share.
ah.
A new share of that. There you go.
Good. Well, guess we don't need the password there then.
It's 9.
Yeah. But I suppose we have to wait till 10 after before we can officially start. That's officially the City College schedule starts at 10 after. And as you can see, we got 18 people, but there ought to be like 35. So we won't have everybody for another 10 minutes, I suppose.
Well, with that, while we wait, what's happening in the news?
I don't know. Let's take a look. Something going wrong at Twitter. The new guy took over from Jack. He fired the security team and replaced him with a guy that doesn't know security, like the CIO, or they all quit, probably because of his move into cryptocurrency. Twitter's moved into cryptocurrency in a big way. And in fact, they issued a really surprising video saying Now you can use your NFT as your profile picture, and all you have to do is connect your Twitter account directly to your MetaMask, which I found breathtaking because people have like real money in their MetaMask. That's your bank account if you do crypto. Yes. Oh, I see someone in chat. Yes, if you want to add the course, just put in an ad request. I'll approve them all. There's room for everybody. Anyway, and also some hackers say they were ejected from Twitter, or other people say they were, and other people say that hackers that had a check mark had their check mark removed. So apparently the new regime at Twitter is going to be anti-security and anti-hacker.
Well, that's just rude.
Well, yeah. It will be interesting to watch and see what happens.
So where are we all going? Reddit?
Well, they're discussing that. They're thinking they need to have their own platform. I don't know. Like, YouTube tried throwing me off a few times for teaching hacking, but they let me back on so far. But my plan is if YouTube does kick me off, then I'll go to Vimeo. But it's not a social network. It's just a hosting service.
Yeah.
It's, then someone mentions the deal for Activision Blizzard. Yep, a big one. Yeah.
I think I saw that Sony's value went down because of that.
Oh, they thought, okay, I don't know enough about gaming.
Me either.
They thought Sony was going to acquire it or something.
I think I read something about Sony's value drop because of that sale.
Well, if Microsoft does it right, I guess they'll make a pile of money, and I would think they will because they got the Xbox. So it might mean that they'll become more significant in the world of gaming. The stock market's falling and crypto is crashing.
Airline CEOs make U-turn. Now say 5G isn't a big problem for altimeters.
Yes. I saw that was pretty amazing. They've been whining about how 5G is going to make the airplanes crash. And now suddenly they say, oh, never mind, it'll be fine. So
do you think they got the vaccine and now they switched?
It's hard to know what's going on.
Right.
This is, I think, what Caitlin said on our podcast, that they can fix the altimeters pretty easily. And that's what they said. They said it's pretty easy to fix the altimeters so they don't get interference from the 5G. And we've already fixed most of them, and it really isn't going to be a big deal. So I don't know what the point is. People are praising Quebec because they wanted to get people to take the vaccine. So what they did in Quebec is if you don't have the vaccine, you're not allowed to go in the liquor or the cannabis stores. And that did it. The number of vaccinations quadrupled immediately. This is what I heard also in France. They said, if you don't get the vaccine, you can't go in the cafes. And they say in France, this is a fate worse than death.
Yeah, I've been like traveling around like Central and South America, and like they don't necessarily care about the vaccine, but in every store you go into, they like check your temperature and spray you down with like some weird liquid. It's funny.
I see someone in chat. Sweden wants to add just you do it in the online Canvas system, and unfortunately, I don't know the exact. Oh, good, somebody else has answered. Glad to see it because the City College registration system is pretty impenetrable, and only the students are experts in how to do it. Just make an ad request there, and I will approve them all. So there's room for everybody who wants to add, and we still have another 5 minutes before the official time. So I'll have to say this again in a minute, but anyway, this is good. I'm glad people want to add. Feel free. I was very surprised. The Russians are now arresting cyber criminals who are running ransomware gang, the Dr. Evil, something, the R Evil gang.
Revel.
And also the UniCC carding forum, which is very strange because Putin has been very clear for decades that in his opinion, any cyber criminal that wants to attack America is happy to do so and publicly advertise and everything. He says, we regard that as fine. As long as you don't attack targets in Russia, we will support you and protect you from America and never deport you and not punish you. And suddenly he's changed his mind and he's arresting people. And I guess this is some kind of deal he's hoping he made with Biden, probably that if he stops the cyber attacks, then he'll let him invade Ukraine, which is probably true in practice, although Biden doesn't want to admit that. Because everybody's mad because Biden and his presser kind of admitted, well, you know, a little invasion of Ukraine will be okay. And then everybody tried to say, oh, no, he didn't mean that. But it's looking like he, anyway, somehow.
So, invasion by moderation.
Yeah, a minor incursion. But it really looks like we're headed for war in Ukraine. And one of the head of the Armed Service Committee said that we're also headed for war in Taiwan. Said this is, since America is pretty much an ineffective international country now, all we're doing is fighting an internal civil war. We're not really paying attention to the rest of the world or setting a good example for democratic nations or pretty much, a significant force the way we used to be. All the dictators of the world now feel like they can just go ahead and do the rotten stuff they want to do, and America won't do anything about it, which is probably true. So we can expect China to invade Taiwan and Russia to invade Ukraine. And I think they're both going to bet that we aren't really going to do anything about it. And I think they're both right. Somebody hacked the Patriot Front, which is kind of hilarious. They're an American neo-Nazi organization, and they filmed a public relations video saying, we're not Nazis. And then they left the mic going when they turned it off and said, there, thank God that's over. Zig Heil. So they are totally Nazis. But I mean, as we know, at the last conservative last CPAC, not this one, but the one before it, was held on a Nazi symbol. I mean, the whole Republican Party has completely been taken over by open Nazis now. So it's, I don't think it's really considered a bad thing in the right to be a Nazi anymore. Anyway, but somebody hacked them and leaked 500 gigabytes of their records last night. So there may be something there. And anyway, the link to the ad request doesn't work. It's the top of the student portal. Okay, people, good. At the top of the student portal is the ad. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. There's a COVID syndrome that affects small children called MIS, multiple organ failure or something. And they thought it was over because the original COVID caused this in a small number of small children, like below 5. And the Delta wave did not cause it, but the Omicron wave is causing it again. And what happens is people whose kid gets COVID, they might not even know they have COVID. And then after the COVID is gone, they have life-threatening organ failures. So people are pretty shocked about that, but that's called MIS-C, and it's coming back apparently.
It is 9:10.
Oh, good. All right. So we're up to the official time. Hopefully everybody that's coming is here. So I'm Sam Bound, and Irvin's here where you heard only his voice today. For some reason, he hasn't got his camera going. But there are going to be 2 teachers in this forensics course. I'm just sort of the overseer. Irvin is going to actually do the day-to-day teaching. He's an expert in forensics. I've moved on to a different field of computer security, and my forensic material is pretty badly out of date. So Irvin stepped in as a real expert in modern computer forensics. So he's going to run the course and hand out the projects and do the lectures and stuff. But I will be available to help anybody that needs help. Monday through Thursday, I'm available on my Twitch. You can come in at 7 or 7:30 after the lecture in any of my classes, and I will help you. So if you want any help in the projects or anything, feel free. But I'm really going to just hand this over to Irvin and let him run it, because I saw his course and it's very good. He's got a whole lot of things that I don't do, and it's very good for people to see another way to go about things. Like he's got Discord and I don't have one, that sort of thing. So why don't you take it away, Irvin?
Thank you, Sam.
And the other thing, of course, by the way, is if anybody wants to add, just make an ad requesting canvas and I'll approve it. Everybody's getting in, and you can tell them that for the latecomers, Irvin.
Okay. Excellent. So, welcome everybody. I believe on Sam's site, there is a update to where the Canvas class is at. So let me go to that right now. Yes. And I'll make a new share of this. So on Sam's site, samsclass.info, here are the 3 links you'll need for this course. The entire class is on Canvas, on a separate canvas from the CCSF Canvas. There is a Discord server that you'll all need to be a part of. And the Zoom, which you are in now. The Canvas course will look like this. Everything is published. You can see the entire course from start to end. There's the orientation model or module, the events for things that are happening like National Cyber League, which we will be participating in, Pacific Hackers, OWASP, which you'll be attending. I need to add HTCIA to this. You'll attend 3 different meetings throughout this semester. Participation in Discord is mandatory. That is our discussion area, our collaboration area. So you'll all need to be a part of that. There are questions throughout the lecture, so you'll need to go through the lectures and you'll see a little mini CTF to participate in. Oh, here's HTCIA. Let's move that up here so it's together. The modules are pretty straightforward. There is an overview. There is a lecture with all the lecture notes that I'll be reading from, the lab that you'll do for that week, and a review. The first 8 modules all look like this. The second half of the course changes. In the second half of the semester, there will just be a lecture and a review for that lecture, and we'll be focused on these cases, these 6 cases. These are essentially the final exam, and you'll have all 8 weeks to work on them. Because this is digital forensics, collaboration is key. It may say small case, but these are not small cases. These will not be a quick turnaround. There's a lot to process, and we're going to talk about that throughout the course of what needs to be in a report, what you need to do, how in depth you need to be. So you'll see that even if it says small case, these are not small at all. And you will be taking the full 8 weeks to get through all 6. The other big point that I want to point out to you all is how the due dates work. All assignments are available starting today. They have a due date, but this due date is a soft date. I understand that life happens and you can't make it to every class and you can't make every assignment. So you won't get punished for submitting stuff late. So it's perfectly fine to submit late work until we reach this date, May 18th at midnight. When we reach that day and time, no work will be accepted. So once again, in all assignments, they have a due date. These are soft due dates because I understand life happens. You won't be punished because life happened. You can submit late work without penalty. But when we reach the due until date, then no work is accepted at all. Does that make sense? Are there any questions? And I'll reiterate this throughout the course. But yeah, you have the full 16 weeks to get everything done and submitted. And again, don't worry about losing points. But after this day and time, nothing is accepted. Okay. So this course will introduce you into the world of digital forensics and incident response. It's going to more heavily focus on digital forensics We have one module on incident response. Sam has a full class on incident response, so this class will not put its focus on that. Our big motto is I see deleted files. Like I just said, all the lecture notes are all together. You have your lab every week and review. So all my speaking notes are already available to you. As I showed you, you have your 8, week 1 through 8 will be the same, having a lab module within. Weeks 9 through 16 is when you'll be working on the cases. And that big due until date that will haunt you as we get closer. And you will be constantly reminded of that upcoming deadline. Just to confirm, you're going to be added to the Canvas. You can add yourself to the Canvas. On samsclass.info, there is a link for you to join it. Okay. So, digital forensics, the retrieval, the analysis, and use of digital evidence in the civil or criminal investigation involves any medium that can store digital files and the digital files themselves. This field is a science because of the accepted practices used for acquiring and examining evidence and its admissibility in court. Forensics means suitable for a court of law. Therefore, the digital evidence is retrieved, handled, and analyzed in a sound manner. Another way of saying this is through the investigative process, the evidence remained in its original state, and anyone in contact with the evidence was accounted for and documented. That is the big overarching view of what we will be doing in this course. We will be learning how to handle digital files and storage in a way that would be acceptable in a court of law. Computer forensics can yield incriminating evidence or inculpatory or prove a defendant innocent, exculpatory in criminal cases. A couple of myths. Computer forensics is the same as computer security. This is not true. Security is a proactive, preventing crime from occurring, whereas forensics is reactive, occurring after a crime has been committed. Computer forensics is about investigating computers. Well, it's really anything that stores data in a medium like cell phones, USB drives, AirPods, anything that stores media. Computer forensics is about investigating computer crime. This field within cybersecurity is equally important in murder, embezzlement, corporate espionage, not just computer crime. Computer forensics is really used to resurrect deleted files. The primary focus is to retrieve and analyze files using scientific methodologies that is acceptable in the court of law. We go well beyond retrieving files into things like search, filtering, password cracking, and decryption capabilities. Some of the different types of digital forensics that we'll be recovering can be things like email, getting the control, the ownership, and intent. Establishing these three is critical in making the evidence incriminating. Sometimes email is the most powerful as it can show the intentions of the suspect and victim. In cases regarding child pornography, the defendant commonly claims he was unaware of the images. The prosecution must prove the defendant knew of their existence and that the pictures were of minors. Email evidence can show the suspect's image were shared, helping prove the suspect's guilt and possibility to prosecute. Hashing can verify the image from one computer is the same on another. This chain of events. Email contains a chain of conversations, including times, dates, email sender and recipient, making it possible to reconstruct the events that led up to the crime being committed. There's prevalence. Email is important because of its heavy use in work, personal, and business communications. The endurance, defined as the concealment, destruction, alteration, or falsification of evidence. This is a serious crime carrying a felony charges in many states. Email is valuable because it is generally accessible from other systems and not solely on the client. Email services can be served a subpoena or a search warrant to turn over email files stored. Email is also accessible on other devices like tablets and cell phones. Its admissibility. Courts have accepted email as admissible in court, including printouts as evidence. And also accessibility. Email is not necessarily subject to a search warrant. Under the Stored Communications Act, stored communications like email less than 180 days old require law enforcement to obtain a warrant. The Electronic Frontier Foundation has fought against the government to change this law. There's also images. They come in various file types. Images are especially important in child exploitation cases. Digital images contain metadata detailing the camera used to prove ownership, GPS data, file creation, modification, and last access dates and more. There's video. This evidence can be found on various devices, including computers, digital cameras, cell phones. Surveillance video is mostly stored on computers and will fall under that domain. For example, surveillance video can be critical to the successful capture of a criminal who inserts a skimmer, like this one shown, on ATM machines. Closed circuit TV is use of video transmitted to a particular location. Computer forensic investigators have a variety of forensic tools to choose from, providing stills at predetermined points, enhancing the quality of the video, and more. These tools can also identify important incriminating evidence without the need to watch the whole video, allowing the investigator to not be subjected to watching disturbing content. In the courtroom, video evidence can be the most compelling type of evidence for a jury to convict a criminal. We also have websites and internet searches. Most investigators agree that live systems should be examined while on, as evidentiary files and data related to internet searches and websites are more readily available within RAM. Mobile forensics is growing exponentially. A cell phone can tell you who the suspect knows through its contacts, any appointments through the calendar, who the suspect has been speaking to with call history, and messaging through text, along with image and video evidence, places visited from the GPS, online purchases, and websites visited. There's also IoT. Being cognizant about these new devices and their digital trails saved locally or in the cloud is part of our investigations. We have plenty to draw from. So what skills must a digital forensic investigator possess? Well, there's information technology knowledge. A strong foundation of operating systems and file systems allow investigators to know where files are stored and determine their value to prosecutors. Operating system knowledge provides an understanding how hardware and software interact with one another. Knowing the effects of certain features like BitLocker, Lux, File Vault would lead an investigator to keep the computer on. The examiner must have extensive investigative abilities, using digital evidence to demonstrate control, ownership, and intent, such as proving a suspect was in control of a computer when the files were stored in memory, proving ownership by the credentials, proving intent that a website was accessed multiple times or an image was viewed on a number of occasions and subsequently distributed to others. Knowledge of Linux is useful to clone volumes, Android examinations, app analysis, and networking. There's different scripts that you could use for scraping websites or brute forcing pins on a Mac. Python can help automate website scraping, and PowerShell commandlets can retrieve information from Windows systems. There's also legal expertise. Knowledge of the law is important. Gaining access to a suspect's computer may be the first challenge. If the suspect's computer is at their home, the Fourth Amendment, search and seizure, is imperative. A judge must be convinced that a crime has been committed and there's reasonable expectation that key evidence exists at a particular location. Law enforcement must show probable cause or reasonable cause to believe that a crime has been committed. There's communication skills. Writing skills are not to be underestimated. Investigators must document the process and findings in such a way that technical experts can comprehend the findings. Moreover, the investigator will have to effectively communicate their findings to a jury or a judge who have limited knowledge of computers and forensics. With international cybercrime, the need for multilingual forensic investigators has grown exponentially. Continuous learning, which is true of anything in the realm of IT. An effective investigator is always learning new skills, such as technical skills like new technology, hardware, software, the psychology, understanding criminal minds to provide better understanding of actions can result in quicker results. And an appreciation for confidentiality. Keeping information confidential is imperative. Only those who know about the investigation should know. The fewer, the better. If the suspect finds out, you risk the suspect fleeing and also risk exploitation of evidence like hiding, altering, or destruction. Leaks to the media are always a concern. There are a couple of places that have a bunch of information in the realm of computer forensics, like the Regional Computer Laboratories, Carnegie Mellon's Computer Emergency Response Team, the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, National White Collar Crime, and the Computer Technology Investigation Network. There are also some certifications that you may be interested in if this realm is something you want to jump into. For example, the International Association of Computer Investigate Specialists has the Certified Forensic Computer Examiner. The International Society of Forensic Computer Examiners offers the Certified Computer Examiner. The Information Assurance Certification Review Board offers the Certified Computer Forensics Examiner. The American College for Forensic Examiners International offers the Certified Forensic Consultant. The SANS Institute offers the GIAC Certified Forensic Analyst. And then there are other certifications that are more specific, like NCASE's certified examiner, which means you can use NCASE the tool, or Access Data's certified examiner that you can use FTK. Any questions? Is there a place where we can read this in the lecture notes? Cool. Well, I am waiting for word from Google on the codes for you to set up your digital forensics cloud lab. For now, just hang on tight. In Discord, I will let you know when I can send you a code. You are not expected to pay for any Google Cloud usage. As soon as I get that credit, I'll be able to send that to you, and you'll be able to make accounts and get access to that and be able to build whatever you need for this course for free. So if you haven't already, please join Discord, the Discord server, and assign yourself the role for this course. And then as soon as I announce it, you can ask me for the GCP code, and I'll send that over to you, and you'll redeem it. A quick look at Discord while we're on that subject. Here is the server. When you log in for the first time, you'll need to go to the assigned course channel and click on the little Pokeball. That will get you the correct role, which is for this course. In it, you'll see this CCSF Spring 22. Here, you'll be able to message each other and be able to help each other out throughout the course. In the announcements, I have a number of important links like this Zoom link, if you ever lose it. The place where all the YouTube videos are at. The link where you will redeem your GCP credits when they're available. And also a reminder of the Discord points. There is a bot that is watching who messages how much each month or every day, and I will be grading based on that. So the more you communicate with each other, the higher chance you get of getting full points for Discord. Thank you, Sam, for putting those links. Because I don't have the GCP code yet, we are not able to do that lab, so don't worry about it. But as soon as I get those codes, you'll get word of it, and we'll help you get all set up and ready to go. So for now, if there are no other questions, I will stop the recording, and we're good to go. Any other things, Sam? Do we have a textbook? Yes, in the orientation module. There's required materials. And that is the book that we're using. Now, you don't have to get the book. all my lecture notes are what I'm going off of. So if you want to get the book, you can, but I wouldn't say you have to get the book. Shannon, let me see what happened there. It says you can view channel. Manage messages, read history. There's nothing in there yet because we just started today. So that's the textbook question. I just fixed the permission for CCSF. Is there a meeting like this every week on Saturday? Yes, we will be meeting here on Saturday. Again, I'll post on Discord if we are not meeting. We'll be usually meeting for the full 3 hours. No, we will not be meeting for the full 3 hours. The lectures will not be long. And Sam and I will be here to help anybody through the activities. That's where the rest of the time will be taken. How many hours are we expected to spend for this course in a week? Once we hit the second half, you'll be spending a lot more time working on the labs. So the lectures will be shorter. So you have more time in class to work on it. But I would say anything to like 3 to 4 hours when we're in full steam ahead. Can we connect to your Security Plus class in Canvas to review materials? You are absolutely welcome to review any of my courses. All of my courses are on my website, infosecurban.info. There's a free courses tab that'll take you to that. And you'll see all my courses. All the free enrollment are publicly available. So for this class, for example, these are all carbon copies of each other. But yeah, you're welcome to see the like the Security Plus course and see what's in there, the Wireshark, so on and so forth. Let's see. Yes, and Sam can also connect, or you can connect with Sam on Twitch at 7:30. A little bit about me. I am a professional troublemaker. I've been in the cybersecurity field since 2007. My favorite thing is network analysis. And in that realm is also digital forensics. I have a number of certifications to my name. But I'm a professional troublemaker. Yes, including the CISSP. We will not be looking into machine learning. To get an ad code, that is a SAM question. Discord general channel says it's read only. You need to assign yourself a role and then it'll change. Trying to change my server name. I believe you need to right click your name and change and use nickname. Awesome. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none. I will stop.